All right. Sexyama, good morning. Good to see you,
Good
sir.
morning. Yeah.
How are you doing?
Sorry. Yeah. It's good. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome, man. Glad to hear. Well, I want to congratulate you on all the fun season of Physical 100. Is very cool to watch. I just finished up watching the whole thing. I saw what you had the big party with everybody last week. How was that?
Um, English or Japanese?
You can do Japanese, yeah.
はい。
あ、
日本語でも英語でもどちらでも。
本当ですか。あ、了
はい。
解です。
私が翻訳
えっ
しますので。
と、ま、やっぱり長い期間一緒に戦ったメンバーなので、とてもフィジカル100の、仲間たちにはとても感謝して、毎回私が、会を開いて、全員におごってます。で、
あ
はい。それで、すごいいい時間を過ごさせていただいてます。
I've been very thankful for all of them, and I treated all of them after the meeting, and I've been really enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm sure it looked like a fun time, getting as many people together as you did. So it was very cool to see everybody hanging out like that after, the crazy season that it was. And I mean, just what has the reaction been like, Sexyama? Like people, I'm sure have been, sending a lot of messages to you and saying how cool it was to see you on there. Like how has the feedback been for, from everybody who watched and instead telling you about it?
フィジカル100なんですけど、ものすごい反響で、本当に
うん、
大盛況だと思うんですけど、
うん。
それがファンの皆様や、他の方からの反響っていうのはどのような感じなのでしょうか？
えー、やっぱり今もう、インスタグラムに関してはもう世界中から、
は、
ファンが、DM がたくさん来て、それで、他の選手たちも、もう世界中から DM が来て、フォロワーが伸びて、で、まあ、韓国では、まあ、どこ行っても、他の選手は、まあ、私はもともと、まあ、テレビに出てるから、まあ、それなりに知られてるんですけど、他の選手たちは一般の子たちだったので、
うん。
話を聞くと、もうどこに行っても、あの、どこ歩いてても、みんな声かけて写真撮ってくる、もう大人気です、今。
うん。Through the Instagram application method, he got there a lot of message from all over the world, and not only him, but the other competitors got a lot of message from all over the world, even though they're original people, but since they're physical 100, they got the very famous in not only Korea, but also the world.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the show was in the top 10 for Netflix. It might have been number one at one point, but it did very well, obviously, and a lot of people compared it to Squid Game and whatnot. So, I mean, what was kind of your reaction to it, though, when, they came to you and asked you to be on the show? Like, what did you think about it at first?
ネットフリックスの中でもトップ10に入る、またはトップ1に入っナンバーワンに入ってもおかし
うん。
くないと思うんですけど、またスクイッドゲームでもかなり成功を収めてきたと思うんですけど、
うん。
秋山さんにとって、初めにこのお話が来たときはどのような感想を持ったでしょうか？
一番初めに、まあ、ネットフリックスに出ることだけでもともととても光栄だったので、嬉しく思ったんですけれども、内容を聞くと、やはりその若い、本当にフィジカルの強い選手だけ集まるということだったので、まあ、私も、まあ、いい年だったので、あのまあ、やるからには残らなくちゃいけないっていう使命もあったから、正直一番初めはちょっとどうしようか迷いました。
うん。
けど、いろんなことを考えたら、まあ、おじさんでも頑張ればできる姿を世界中のおじさんに見せてあげたくて、そこでそれを決定して参加しました。
So originally, I was very honored because Netflix is such a big country, and I was very happy. When I heard about it, I got a bit confused because a lot of competitors are very young, and I'm not that young anymore. And but um, when I heard about the content of the Physical 100, I made my decision to and join this physical 100.
Yeah, well, it worked out pretty good for you. You know, got to the top 20, which is not too bad for a 48-year-old. You know, pretty good there. Sexyama did a lot better than maybe you should have. But hey, man, I'm not surprised. And I got to ask you though about the challenges specifically, Sexyama. Like the first one. Let's go to the first one. You ended up having an impromptu MMA fight. You know, Dong Guk challenged you to a little bit of a impromptu MMA fight in the first challenge there. I mean, did you expect that at all when you got on the show that maybe you'd run into another MMA fighter and then, that would happen in the very first thing like that?
シンドン・ドゥクという方の MMA ファイターの方も、こちらのフィジカルハンドレッドに参加していて、その秋山さんも MMA ファイトということで、このことについて、どう思いましたでしょうか？
一番初めのクエストで彼が私に格闘技で勝負をしましょうっていう提案をしてくれてたんですけれども、
はい、
とても彼をリスペクトしてますし、でそのゲームの中では本当はボールの取り合いだったんですが、それを格闘技で勝負をしましょうっていう彼の提案がとてもクールでびっくりしましたけど、いい勝負になったと思います。
So first, Shindong Goku asked Mr. Akiyama, let's fight as MMA, but and then the game has been changed to get the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And so Mr. Akiyama really respect him a lot, and then that game has been really interesting, and I could enjoy it.
I mean, did you find it harder to do kind of what he was wanting to do with you on that course because you guys had the option, right, of kind of the water sand pit, the brown kind of field, and then there was the one with the obstacles on it, which is where you guys ended up fighting. Like when I was watching that, I was like, they're gonna run into things. Was that something that you were kind of having to think about, like the obstacles that were around you when you were, fighting them?
なんか、平面のコースよりも、障害物があるコースになったということで、
はいはいはい。
それについて、
要するにあれなんですよ。公園の設備と砂場の設備と2つあったんですけど、それを選択することになってたんですが、
はい。
で、単純に私が砂場が嫌いだからです。だから公園を選択しました。
So Mr. Akiyama just doesn't like the sand one, and then that's why he chose the park.
Okay, I see. Yeah, well, it was all about the strategy. Of course, that's something you got to think about for all these types of things. And so, I mean, you advanced from there. Obviously, Sexyama, you ended up beating him, held on to the ball at the very end, and then you got to be a captain for the next round. And was that something that put a lot of pressure on you because this is already a high pressure situation? It's 1 against 100 to start out, but then you move on and people voted you as, kind of a leader. What was kind of your reaction to when that happened as you moved on?
秋山さんは次のラウンドでキャプテンになっていますけど、それについてプレッシャーとか感じていますでしょうか？
やはり、私が一番年上だったので、みんなをそのリーダーシップを持ってやらなくてはいけないという責任はものすごい強かったです。
So he's the oldest, so he has a responsibility to lead everyone.
Absolutely makes sense. Got to respect their elders. That's for sure. I mean, that was the challenge too with the sand moving, where you had to fill up. You go across the bridge and then fill up the whole thing at the end there. And it's funny, Sexyama, like watching that whole challenge between all the teams. You were the only guy, the only person out of everybody who was kind of sliding across the bridge when you were going back and forth. Why'd you do this? What is the story behind your technique there?
今、秋山さん多分折り返したと思うんですけど、秋山さんだけがスライディングで橋のところを行ったということなんですけど、それのリアクションはどうだったんでしょうか？
あれは 正直のとこ、橋がめちゃめちゃ怖いんですよね。
あ、
そう、怖い、怖いのよ、怖いのよ。だか
はいはい。
らできるだけ早く行こうと思ったら、もう、自分だけ膝を吸って、
あ、
ハイハイしながら歩いたんですけど、
はい。
橋が怖かったです。高いとこ
あ、
が怖かっ
なるほど。To be honest with you, I'm I'm very scared of a bridge. It's very high, and that's why I chose to crawl. And I really want to finish as soon as possible.
all right, makes sense. I mean, just as for the whole thing, Sexyama, like I'm sure this might be an easy question because obviously, the challenge after that you were moving the rock, and that's the one that unfortunately couldn't pass that one. But out of all of the challenges that you had to do, was that one the toughest, or was it one of the other two that we already talked about?
あの、これまでかなりの苦難を乗り越えて、ラウンドを抜けてきたと思うんですけど、今までで一番タフで難しかったものは何だったでしょうか？
た。船をみんなでチームで移動させるクエストっていうかミッションがあったんですけど、
はいはい。
それが、思った以上にものすごい重くて、で、タイムで競うんですけれども、そのミッションが一番しんどかったです。
The toughest one is move the ship
Mm.
with everyone because it's much heavier than he expected.
Yeah, that definitely looked like a pretty crazy thing to have to do. It's very team. That was a very very team heavy thing and challenge. So very impressive because you guys did very well. What you beat the next team by like 6 minutes. Like you guys had a pretty big lead on them. So I'm sure you felt really good when you saw the times and that you were that much better, right?
なんか6分ほど差をつけて他のチームを打ち負かした
うん。
と思うんですけど、それについてとても印象的だったということで、
うん。うん。まあ、チームワークと作戦が私たちのチームにはまって、まあ、自分がいろんなことを指示して、それに基づいて選手たちが本当にそれをすぐに理解して、私を信じてくれたので、
うんうん。
その結果が生まれたと思います。
So teamwork and strategy could match with their um, team decision, and then Mr. Akiyama ordered everyone, and everyone listened what he said. So, so, so all of them could work well.
Yeah, definitely did prove that again. Like I said, with the big lead there, and Sexyama, you've been in so many great fights. Had a long sports career, with your judo and MMA and everything. So I gotta wonder, man, like where does going through physical 100 rank amongst the toughest things that you've done just in your life? Whether it's between the fights and the judo matches and just everything. Where would you put physical 100 in terms of toughest just things you've had to do in your life?
秋山さんも柔道家としても総合格闘家としても今まで本当にご活躍されてきたと思います。で、今回のフィジカルハンドレットに参加してるんですけど、今までの人生を含めてどれが一番タフだったでしょうか？タフな挑戦だったでしょうか？
うーん、
難しいと思いますか？
まあ全部もう柔道も大変でしたし、
うん。
まあ格闘技も今やってるけど大変ですし、フィジカル100も大変だったですけど、楽しいのはフィジカル100が楽しかったです。
あ、本当ですか。わかります。はい。So judo was very tough, and MMA currently I'm doing is very tough too. And of course, physical handling is very tough as well. But I can enjoy physical handling most.
Okay. All right. Yeah, very cool. I mean, it was definitely enjoyable to watch, man. And I mean, I was wondering, like, as I was, you watch the challenges on TV and, see how long everything takes. But, like, how long did the whole process of doing the show take? Like, how many weeks and months was it that you had to be a part of it?
フィジカルハンドレットはどのくらいの期間で撮影されてきたものなのでしょうか？どのくらい準備が必要だったんですか？
大 体あれ、2、3ヶ月ぐらいの期間で撮影をしてたと思います。3ヶ月ぐらいかな。
So a few months took it for shooting.
Oh, okay, a couple months. All right. In the end, Sexyama, like Woo Jin-yong ended up winning the whole show, and I believe he was on one of your teams. I'm trying to remember correctly. He might have been on one of yours, but the whole point of the show was to kind of see, who had the superior body. The perfect body was kind of the search out of the 100 people. So, for you, were you surprised to see like his body type was the one that he ended up winning the whole thing?
彼のようなボディタイプの方が最終的に優勝したことってのは驚きだったでしょうか？
彼はクロスフィットの選手なので、本当にとても素晴らしいバランスを持った、能力を持った選手だったので、その驚きはなかったですね。
Oh, he didn't surprise at all because he's a CrossFit player, CrossFit player, and his body is very balanced.
Yeah, it was very impressive, and he was very persistent that he was gonna win the whole thing. And what do you know? He goes on and does it. So, congratulations to him as well. But I think the most important question here now is Sexyama. Like, now that you're done with the show, are you gonna have more time to do your YouTube channel? Are we gonna see more YouTube videos out of you soon?
秋山さんはフィジカルハンドリングが終わって、この後まだ時間ができてくると思うんですけど、YouTube のショーについてもとても楽しみにしているとのことです。
ありがとうございます。
はい。Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, awesome, man. And Sexyama, just before I let you go, I got a couple more questions here. I'm curious, of course, about the MMA career because obviously you said still going. I know you want to go till 50, so we're getting close. We're getting close. I know you had kind of an idea of how many more fights you wanted to do until you reach that point, but how many more do you think you'll get in now before that point, and when are you hoping to return?
秋山さんももうすぐでもうちょっと質問させていただきたいです。もうすぐで50歳を迎えると思うんですけど、あと何年ぐらい総合格闘技のキャリアを積んでいこうとお考えでしょうか？
あと2年で50なので、まず目標としては50まではなんとか踏ん張りたいなと思ってます。
So I'm gonna reach 50 years old in 2 years. So I really want to hang out to reach 50. あと次の総合格闘技の試合は、いつぐらいにやりたいでしょうか？
今年中に多分、行われると思います。
はい。In this year, he thinks MMA fight is gonna happen.
Okay. All right. No specific timeline to sometime this year. You're not trying to rush it or anything?
特に完全に決まった日程が決まっているわけではなくて、今年中という。
はい。やると思います。
He thinks it's gonna happen, but he doesn't know exact time.
All right. Very cool. We'll definitely look forward to it, man. But I want to ask too, Sexyama, like you've had so many great opponents, and I think a lot of people don't realize kind of how many, great opponents that you have fought in all the great fights. But I want to know, like, with all the names that you have fought and all the legends, has there ever been an opponent that you were kind of maybe intimidated by, that you were a little bit, like kind of had to remind yourself, like, oh, I'm actually fighting this guy? Was there anybody in your career that you fought so far that made you not scared, but that, you were kind of a little bit more focused for because you knew how good they were?
今まで、多くの方と戦ってきたと思うんですけど、その中で、恐れていたとまではいかないですけど、ちょっとびっくりしたような、選手の方はいましたでしょうか？
昔戦った選手の中でメルビン・マヌーフという黒人の選手がいてたんですけど、
はい。
私がヒーローズというところの、K1 のヒーローズというところの決勝で戦った選手が一番やっぱり怖かったですね。
So he used to fight as a K1 hero, and 秋山さんもう一度お名前をお願いします。
メルビン・マヌーフ。
Nova
Melvin Manuf, the black guy, and he fought him with him final, and he thought I was scared about him.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the scariest strikers I think the sport's ever
Yeah.
seen. So that is understandable. Um, and I mean, would you say that he was your toughest opponent, Sexyama? Like, I mean, there were so many good ones, like I said, but who would you say was the toughest guy you fought?
今まで一番タフだと思った選手はどなたでしょうか？
タフだと思った選手。タフだと思った選手。やっぱりタフな選手、青木真也選手ですね。
So his toughest one is Shinya Aoki. He fought him in 1X last year.
Yeah, definitely Shinya, another legend. So that's definitely a good choice. I mean, can't really go wrong with a lot of guys that you have fought, Sexyama. And I remember that was a really cool moment because you said how the crowd kind of helped motivated you a little bit. You heard them chanting your name as you were kind of in some bad positions and came back to get the win. So like, what was your favorite? What has been your favorite career moment so far? Was it that win, your last one, or is there another one from back in the day?
秋山さん 1X で、青木さんの1ラウンドからの、2ラウンドでかなり、大逆転を成し遂げて、観客からの声援もかなりすごかったと思います。で、今までの、キャリアの中で、一番、ですかね、感動したものがその試合だったのか、他に何か、他の試合であったのでしょうか？
いや、やっぱりその試合が一番やっぱ自分の中でもいろいろ思いがあったので、感動というよりもすごい思い深いというか、一番やっぱ頭に残ってますね。
Yeah, that senior fight was the most memorable and very meaningful.
I mean, there's a lot of memorable fights that you've had as a fan. The start of your UFC career, I think, it was one of the greatest starts that a fighter has had, at least in terms of entertainment. Unfortunately, maybe didn't get as many wins as I would have hoped for, but the first 3 fights, like all fight of the nights, you debuted on UFC 100, got the win there against Alan Belcher, and I think a lot of people who watched those fights will never forget those ones because they were so crazy. You really went out there just looking to kill people. I mean, it was crazy at the time, but I mean, how much does it mean to you, Sexyama, to be remembered as, such a fun fighter with, these epic UFC fights when you showed up there?
秋山さんの USC に参加したときに、かなりもうクレイジーな試合だったと思うんですけど、それはどのような意味だったのでしょうか？
全身全霊で戦う姿を、世界中の人に見せたかったっていうのが自分の信念で戦いましたね、あの時は。はい、他の選手みんな大きかったんですけど、自分はやっぱちっちゃかったんですけど、それでも挑戦してなんとか強い選手、タフな選手とたくさんやったので、日本人はやっぱちっちゃいじゃないですか。だけど、それでも大きい外人に勝てるっていうのを見せたかったですね。
So he really wants to everyone that Japanese can fight against the big guy because generally speaking, Japanese people are very small, but he really wants to show everyone that we could fight.
Definitely did that. And I mean, that makes me wonder now, Sexyama, like for you, in your opinion, who would you say is the best Japanese fighter of all time?
秋山さんにとって、日本で一番ベストなファイターはどなたでしょうか？
ベストなファイター。
A tough question.
Tough question.
ベストなファイター。やっぱ岡見雄心かな。
He thinks Yushin Okami.
All right. I mean, hey, he's in one championship still, right? I mean, that's a fight you could have before you're done. Sexyama, would you like to fight him?
岡見雄心さんと、引退前に試合をするということもあるのでしょうか。
まず、まあ、同じチームなので、で、彼も、今、100キロぐらいあるから、多分もう体重が合わないんですよね。
He's in the same team and his weight is currently 100 kg kilograms, so I cannot match with him.
All right, yes,
Uh,
fair. Excuse my ignorance. Yeah, I didn't realize you guys were training together right now. My bad, but would be a fun one. You guys fight all the time in the gym then, so no need for that. So,
同じジムでいること知らなくてすみませんでした。
いやいやい
ジムの中で戦うことができますね。
や
all right, Sexy Alma, this has been awesome, man. But I will leave you with one last thing here before I let you go. Appreciate you taking the time so much. But I'll leave you with another tough one here, sir. What advice would you give yourself if you could go back in time and see the young Sexyama right before you were getting into judo? What advice would you give yourself now with all of the knowledge and experience that you have?
もし、秋山さんが昔に戻れるとしたら、柔道を始める前に戻れるとしたら、どんなアドバイスをするでしょうか？自分自身にです。
お前は50まで戦えるから、焦るなと言いたいです。
バテルナですか？
え
すみません。もう一度お願いします。すみません。音声が今ちょうど途切れてしまいまして。
私がまあだから今のだから昔の私にですよね。
はい、そうです。
だからお前は50まで戦えるから焦るなと言いたいです。
当てるなですか？
焦るな。
焦るな。わかりました。So he wants to say himself, you can fight until 50 years old, so don't rush. Don't rush.
All right, there we go. Perfectly sound advice and on track to doing it, man. So good stuff there. But all right, Sexyama, amazing. Appreciate you taking the time so much. Congrats again on the very fun, opportunity to get to be a part of Physical 100. Was very fun to get to watch it. I'm sure it was quite an experience to get to do it, obviously. And we'll be looking forward to whenever your next fight is. Of course, no need to rush, like you said, but we'll be eagerly anticipating. So I wish you the best when that comes, and just wish you the best with everything you got going on in life, man. An honor to get to chat with you, a legend in Japan and South Korea as well. So. Big arigato gozaimashita for taking the time, and hope you have a great rest of your day, sir. And it means a lot. So just wishing you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.